No, feeling good today. For a little bit of a frustrating morning, which I guess is the first thing I'll tell you if you caught the little live that I did on my regular Facebook profile just a couple of minutes ago. And this is really part of leadership, and then I'll get into my talk about it. So life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you respond to it. And that is maybe the number one leadership lesson that I could give you guys. As life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond. And most of you are making it the other way around. And you're making it 90% of what's happened to you and 10% of how you respond to it. And that's not how it works. So I'll tell you about my morning. My morning, I was planning on getting up at about 5:30 and going surfing. Got up, surf was shitty. I was going to have to drive like 45 minutes to get to anything that was decent. I didn't really feel like doing that because I had a big day of work planned. I've sort of mentioned this a couple of times. I'm working on an app for you guys that is going to be killer, and it was due today. It was actually due Friday, and then the guy pushed to Monday, and now he's pushed to Wednesday. So I'm like, I don't have time to go surfing and drive 45 minutes to go surfing because I need to work on this app because I should have it this morning. Well, what do I get instead? I get an email from the guy saying, I'm not going to have it for you until Friday. So great. So that got derailed. Then I was like, okay, well, I'm not going surfing. I'll do my 22-minute hardcore. It's day 3 for me. Workout, and I'm going to do cold start because I've had a little thing kind of going on and I need a warm up. That's great. I'll get a little bit longer warm up. If I'm feeling, great, I'll do bulk arms or something else, a little bit of something else. And I get out to my garage and I have this old iMac that I use for the DVDs because I don't get Wi-Fi in my garage, and it's the only thing that has a DVD player on it aside from the Xbox, which is in the living room where my weights and pull-up bar are not. So I get out there, and it just decides to die on me. Like, it's old and just decided it was going to die. So I had a choice. I could either say, well, shit, like, today is just screwed, and it's over, and fuck it, I'm not working out today, I'm done, and, choose to look at it as 90% of what's happened to me and 10% of how I respond. Instead, I got creative. I found a Wi-Fi extender that is in one of the back bedrooms that is really used by my kids so they can have Wi-Fi in the room, which they don't really need. And so I took that and moved it out into the garage. And then I took my little laptop, so it's like a tiny little 13-inch MacBook Air screen, and did my workout via on-demand. Got creative, right? Instead of letting those things affect me, I said, okay, well, this is what's happened. How do I respond? I'm only going to put 10% on what happened. I'm going to put 90% on how I respond. Okay, so that really, I think, is one of the biggest leadership lessons I can give you. But let's start. I only see that there's one person on here, which is interesting. A bunch of people ask me questions. But that's how these things go, which is maybe another leadership lesson for you. Don't worry about who shows up. Just do your job. I'm still a little amped up from the Energize, which is good for you guys because I do better when I'm amped up. All right, so I'm going to tell you a little story, and we're going to talk about leadership. I know I got some other questions. If I have time, I'll get to some of those other ones. I don't know I'm going to get to that email marketing question, Erica. That's probably a little bit more advanced. We do have that FCN marketing group, and maybe go in there, and I can talk about it in that group, because I don't think that's really general population type of stuff, if that makes sense. So here's how I got started in this business. And started in leadership, because I think leadership, some people think leadership is just like this thing you're born with, and you're just a leader or you're not, and one or the other, either way, that's how you respond in life. And I think that's bullshit. So as many of you know, Monica was a founding coach, which means that she was one of the first 40 or 50 people who Carl invited to LA to be the first people who were going to be Team Beachbody coaches. Interestingly enough, on a little side note, the business at that time was called $1 Million Body. So when I heard that Monica was going to join $1 Million Body, I said, I'm not going to do $1 Million Body because that sounds like some cheesy pyramid bullshit that I don't want to be a part of. I was already using the products, and I was a huge fan of Beachbody and P90X in particular because it had dramatically changed my life. But I had no interest in the business. At the time, I was in my 6th year of law practice. I was working at the 8th largest law firm in the world, making more money than I ever imagined I would make practicing law. That's why we moved from Washington to Phoenix, because I got this crazy job offer. So I went down there, and these people were trying to grind me into the ground. And I was like, no, I'm too busy. I had also gained pretty much all my weight back. And I felt like if I showed up, everybody was going to be super fit. A lot of the cliches that maybe you thought about coaching before you were a coach were true for me. I was like, well, I gained all my weight back. I'm not going to go see Mark Briggs and have him like poke me in the belly or do the thing that Tony always does, which is to come up to me and poke me in the belly and see what's going on. Thanks, Tony. Which is an accountability thing, and that's okay. I've given him permission to do that. Let me get rid of that. Slowing me down. So, I did not go to the founders meeting. Monica came back. She signed up a woman named Angela Robinson, and then she signed up Lee Ratterman, who some of you have probably heard of. At that point, she came to me and said, do you want to be a coach? I remember I was in the shower, and I said, no, I don't. I have absolutely no interest in doing this business. I'm a lawyer. I'm going to be a lawyer. That's what I'm going to do. You have fun with whatever it is that you're doing. I don't care. But if you need to sign me up, if it helps you, great, go for it. And she did. And so that's how I got started as a coach. I didn't do anything with it until the end of 2008. So, sorry, my son is texting me. That's fine. So 2008 was an interesting year. Sorry, I got to text my son real quick. He's at school. Just do it on my computer. 2008 was an interesting year. A lot of things happened in 2008. September 15th of 2008 is sort of the key moment in time that I really vividly remember, because that was the day that I went to work and the world fell apart. That was the day that Lehman Brothers declared bankruptcy, and the modern economic system as I knew it completely fell apart. At the time, I was doing real estate development, which is dependent on one thing. You can do a lot of different things. There's a lot of different flexibility. You can work with a funky shaped piece of property, build, and some creative people can learn how to sort of, build around that. There's drainage issues. You get engineers. They can, wrangle it so it works. The one thing you cannot build anything without is money. And that is the one thing nobody could get at the end of 2008. At the time, I was one of 9 associates that was working at the firm that I was working at. By the end of 2008, 3 of them were gone. A year later, there were, I think, 3 of us left. Okay? So that's how I became a coach. I became a coach because the economy went to shit. And I needed a way to make sure the lights stayed on. At the time, Monica was already building the business, and she was having some success. She was actually doing really well. Not as well as I was doing practicing law, but she was on her way to that. I could see where it was going. I was looking at the checks, and it was like, oh, this is going in a good direction. But I had no idea what I was doing. Okay? Absolutely no previous marketing experience. No experience in sales. One of the reasons I didn't make more money as a lawyer is because I was a shitty marketer. I didn't know how to market myself. I felt really uncomfortable selling people my skills, especially at $350 an hour, which is what they were billing me out at. That's not what I was making, but that's what my firm was charging them. I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. I didn't know anything about network marketing. I knew about this. I knew about that stuff. But I didn't know, and we didn't have Shakeology. This is end of 2008. We didn't have Shakeology until March of 2009. That was when that summit was, and they released Insanity and Shakeology. Now we had a product to sell. Holy crap. Okay? That's how I got started in this business. I don't know how you got started in this business, all right? But what I do know is that you probably came to it with about the same amount of experience as I did, okay? I didn't know, I wasn't a teacher. That's why Monica was invited. One of the reasons Monica was invited, not the only reason, but one of the reasons Monica was invited to be a founder is because she's a teacher. And Carl was looking for teachers because he knew teachers knew how to teach people, and they would learn how to do the business, and they would teach people how to do this business, which is exactly what we do. So, let's talk a little bit about leadership based on that, okay? Here's what I learned from these things, all right? And this is how leadership works. And again, if you're under the impression that some people are leaders and some people are not, I'm just going to tell you that is absolute bullshit. It's a complete excuse that you are using so you don't have to lead anybody, okay? That's what that is. And if you don't like to hear that, I'm not going to apologize. It's just the truth, okay? It's your life. You decide whether you're going to accept that as truth or not. But that's the truth, okay? Let me tell you what I learned from this experience and from that moment forward and looking at the team that Monica had already built and saying, okay, number one, what do I add to this team? Number 2, who do I add to this team? And number 3, what does the team need that I can do? That was sort of how I looked at it. The first thing that I recognized, thankfully, because I did a lot of personal development to get to a point where I could even do this business, the first thing was leadership starts with you. You have to lead yourself before you can lead other people. Any other philosophy is fundamentally flawed. And I see this over and over and over again. You guys want to know how to be a 15 star. How about you be an active coach first? Like, if you can't lead you, how can you lead other people? Because it's a big reason I'm doing 22-minute hardcore right now. Because I got away from doing our programs. Does that mean I just got completely out of shape? No, I was doing other stuff. I was cycling, I was surfing, skiing, a really active person. But I recognized that the first rule of leadership is you must be a leader of self. And I wasn't. I was failing that test. And not surprisingly, fewer people have been following me into this business. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting that as I stepped away from being a leader of myself in just taking care of my health and fitness, being a product of the product, one of our vital behaviors, right? That my business started to decline. Why would that happen? My son's coming in. That is first and foremost. Let me just let him in. Hey, I'm just filming here, so in and out. I'm supposed to be at school at 9:30 to pick up his schedule, and then he got there and they're like, oh, it's 11:45. Great. Super. Anyway, once again, it's 10% of what happens, 90% of how you respond. He's going to a friend's house. Good kid. Anyway, the first lesson of leadership, lead yourself. Okay? Before you can lead anybody, you have to be a leader of self. Nobody wants to follow somebody who can't, close that door, bud, who can't even lead themselves. Why would I follow you? You can't even take care of you. If you can't take care of you, why would I follow you? You haven't given me any reason. You can tell me a lot of great stories about other people in this business who've had a lot of success, and maybe that's why you should be involved in this business. You know what those people are going to do? They're going to go follow those other people. It starts with you. This business is an entrepreneurial business. Let me explain to you what that means. My favorite definition of entrepreneur, it's very, very simple. It's a person who accepts all the risk of the success or failure of a business endeavor. Once again, a person who accepts all the risk of the success or failure of a business endeavor. What's that mean? It means that you accept the fact, and this is how you lead you accept the fact that if you win, it's because you did it. And if you fail, it's because you didn't. That's simple. When you guys come to terms with that, and you get good with that, and that becomes the foundation of everything you do, you will stop blaming other people for your problems. You will stop trying to flip this equation that it's 10% of what happens and 90% of how you respond. Because everybody else who thinks it's 90% of what's happened to you and 10% of how you respond is acting like a victim. You want to be an entrepreneur? You can't be a victim anymore. Period. End of story. You don't get to complain to anybody anymore. Sorry. That's taken away from you. Now, some of you are going to be offended by that because you're used to complaining. Okay? Others of you are out there going, hell yeah, that's right. And if I was to look at all of the businesses of the people who responded to what I just said in the different ways, I can tell you the people who said, hell yeah, I love that, because I know that if it works, it's because I did it. And if it fails, it's because I didn't do it, which means I can do something different and I can change. If I was to look at all those businesses, I can just tell you that the people who accept the fact that you are solely responsible for the success or failure of your business are the people who win here. The people who are unwilling to do that and are constantly looking for a reason, for somebody to blame, for some outside force, for some crazy reason, for, oh my God, it's the problem is coach relations isn't nice enough to my customers. No, that's not true. Are those factors? Maybe. But how do you respond to them? If one of your customers has a bad reaction to coach relations, that's the 10% of what's happened to you. Now the 90% is how you respond to that. You know what I do? I apologize. I get on the phone with them and I say, really sorry, you must have had a really bad experience. Let me see if I can help you sort that out. And I'll see what I can do about getting that person fired, because I don't like to hear that you've been treated that way. Because it's 90% of how you respond. That is the number one thing, is taking personal responsibility for this thing. And being a leader of self, my friend Mike Ryan talks about this, and I love the way that he talks about it. He talks about everybody's in a mess. All right? Everybody is in a mess at some point. And a lot of people start this business because they're in situations like I was in, where I was in a mess. All right? The economy fell apart. I knew I was going to lose my job. It was a matter of time. If you were at the Men's Leadership Conference, you remember me telling this story, and the way I described it was that I felt like the youngest pig at the slaughterhouse. Like, I knew what was going to happen to me, but I thought I was going to be last because I was the most senior guy. I had a little bit of my own business, but I knew what was coming. I knew what was coming. And what happened? Well, they fired me 1 month before I was going to vest for 20% of my pension. That's why they fired me, because I was going to vest for 20% of my pension. Good thing I got busy. That was in 2010. That was in May of 2010. Good thing I got busy at the end of 2008, early 2009, building this business. So when they fired me, I said, see ya, because I was in a mess, and I got out of my mess. What's your mess? You've got to figure that out. What is the mess that you're in, and what's your path to get out of it? Are you overweight? Well, if you are, good. We got a lot of solutions for that. Is your mind screwed up? Do you have a mistaken idea that you can lead other people before you're a leader of self? Okay, well, there's ways we can fix that too. This video is the start of that, but there's a lot of other things you can do to start accepting responsibility and stop blaming other people for your problems. I don't know what your mess is. You've got to figure out what the mess is, and then you have to lead yourself out of the mess. Guess what happens when you lead yourself out of your mess? You build a story. You build a story that people will follow you. Why do you think that there's an interesting thing here? The Beachbody Challenge. You would think that everybody who is successful in the Beachbody Challenge, gets on that finalist stage, just kills this business, right? Because you have this great marketing thing. You've got this incredible story. You lost 100 pounds or whatever it is, and Beachbody has this professional video of you that you can show to everybody and go, follow me. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Sometimes it does. Some people have done that. Tommy Migrant comes to mind. Okay? But why? Because Tommy recognized he had two messes. His first mess was in his physical. His second mess was in his mind. Most people don't go to work on the second one. The people who do build this incredible story that says, hey, you, follow me. Why do you think I tell you the story about 2008 when the market fell apart and then getting fired less than 2 years later as the youngest pig in the slaughterhouse? That's my story. That's what I talk to people about. When they want to get involved with this business, I tell them my story. And I say, I led myself out of the mess. I fixed my mess. Don't know what your mess is, but if I can fix my mess, I can probably help you fix yours. That's what leadership is. It's helping, it's leading yourself first and building a story around that. Most people are just not willing to do that. They're not willing to lead themselves. That's what this is. If you want to win here on a big level, and you're asking questions about leadership because you want to be a 15-star, or you want to be an elite coach, you want some fancy medals, or you want to make $5, $10, $15, $20,000 a week, like a week. Okay? Seriously, people are making that kind of money in this business. If that's what you want, you better fix your mess. You better fix your mess, and you better build a story around it. Sorry, I got another thing here. Some notes on the screen. Number 1, leader of self. Okay? What is your mess? What's your plan to fix it? The second thing is understanding this. Okay? Once you become a leader of self, and you're in charge of you, and you stop blaming other people and you start taking responsibility, the second thing that you need to understand is leadership is actually very, very simple. People want to overcomplicate leadership. They want to know, oh, well, how does, like one of the questions was, how do the top leaders in this business run their business? I don't know. I don't know. You know why I don't know? I don't care. I don't care. Because they don't lead my people. I lead my people. I can tell you how I lead. That's all I can tell you. I don't spend my time worrying about what these other people are doing. Now, my close friends, when we sit down and talk, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, sure, yeah. Do I take ideas and incorporate them here? Sure, absolutely. A lot of the stuff you see, whether it's the FCN Coach Training website, or, I don't know, any of the other stuff that I put together, Diamond Mind Training, I mean, all of the leadership stuff that we've done over the years, the retreats, all of it. A lot of that stuff has been inspired by other people. But I don't sit around and look at, Christine Dwyer and go, well, how come Christine Dwyer is a two-time, a double 15-star, or whatever it is? I don't, because that's not me. I'm right here. I just wake up every morning and look at me and go, what can I do to serve my people? Today I was going to work on the app. That fell through no fault of my own, so what do? I'm here for you. That's how I lead, okay? And that's all I can really talk to you about. But let me tell you what I'm doing, and it's very, 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 very simple. And I think if you get this, and you can understand this concept, you can move into leadership. Leadership is super, super, super simple. Find needs and fill them. That's it. That's leadership. Now, the needs I fill are different than the needs you fill. If you're a new coach or an emerald coach or somebody who's just, at the beginning of your journey and you're still trying to figure out your mess and be a leader of self, you're not in a position to film a video like this. And I understand that, and you shouldn't worry about that. Because here's how it works. All right, it's like Evel Knievel. Like Evel Knievel unsuccessfully jumped the Grand Canyon, right? Or Snake River, sorry, it was the Snake River. And that didn't work for him. But do you think that was the first time Evel Knievel jumped anything? Like he was just like, yeah, one day I want to be a 15-star. Or jumped the Snake River and just got on his motorcycle and hauled ass off a cliff. No. When he was a little kid, he started jumping his bike over curbs. And then he was building jumps. And he was jumping over cars. And then he was jumping over buses. And then he was jumping over 20 buses. And jumping hundreds and hundreds of feet. And then he thought, maybe I could do this one crazy thing. That's what leadership looks like here. That's what finding needs and filling it is about. Leadership starts on a very small level. Starts with you becoming a leader of yourself, fixing your mess. The next thing is helping other people. Well, in the beginning, what does that look like? Well, it looks like helping somebody get started with one of our programs. Once you start to get people involved with our programs, you are starting to lead people. If you think that you can go from making a sale of a Shakeology or a challenge pack to being a 15-star, it's insane. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. And you shouldn't worry about what those people are doing. Focusing on what somebody who's that far ahead of you is doing is crazy. That's like me trying to be like, all right, I wonder how Usain Bolt trains. I'd love to run a sub 10-second 100 meter. How does Usain Bolt do it? Right? Maybe I should try and run one in under 20 seconds first and see how that goes. And then maybe try for 18. I don't know how fast I run 100. It's been forever since I've done that. But you need to understand, that's the mindset you're working with. It's not like that. It's like this. You start by helping people with their health and fitness. Let me help you solve this problem. You have a need. Your need is you need to lose weight. Great. I can fill that need. Here's how you're going to do it. You're going to do Shakeology and 22-minute hardcore. And here's our plan. And we'll do it together. Together. Meaning I will lead you. Because I've done it. Because I had a mess that I fixed that inspired you to follow me. Now I'm going to just take you down the journey. And maybe you got to keep going. Maybe you got some more mess. That's an even more successful thing. Hey, I still got some mess. Come with me. Let's do it together. And you fill that need. Then that person maybe decides they want to be a coach. Now what? Well, you don't say, oh, I got my first coach signed up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to act like I'm a 15-star diamond and start managing which is not what the 15-star diamonds do, by the way. They don't just manage. It's part of what they do. They teach mostly. Okay, that's not what you do. You take that one person. You have one person to lead now. That person becomes the most important thing to you. You do everything you can do to help that person get what they want. Not what you want, what they want. It's another little leadership tweak here. People are not designed to help you advance and rank. You and your responsibility is to help people achieve their goals. Now, is everybody going to want to be a career coach? No. No. Mm-mm. You're going to see when I finish this app, if it ever gets done. Sorry, my wireless reconnected. When I finish this app, one of the things I talk about is the 4 different things that I believe, 4 different reasons that people become a coach. The first one is to get a discount on products. Those people are pretty easy to lead. You need to show them where the shop button is. The second group of people are people that want to make enough money to cover the cost of their supplements. So they want their Shakeology for free. That's another thing, right? Become system dependent. You turn them on to fcncoachtraining.com and you help them learn how to form challenge groups. You can come to the kitchen if you want, dear. My daughter. You help them learn to form a challenge group and how to help about 3 people a month get in touch with Shakeology. And if they can do that, their product's going to be pretty close to free. The third group of people are people that want to make a little bit of side money. $1,000 a month. Just think about right now what $1,000 a month would do for you. I don't know if that's big money to you or not. But that's the third group of people who get involved. You have to help those people grow a team. You have to lead them further. Now, if you think that you can teach somebody how to be an emerald without being an emerald, I doubt it. If you think your people are going to advance to diamond and star diamond without you doing it, I don't think so. Because that violates the first rule, which is you have to be a leader of self. It's totally unreasonable for any of us to ask people to do something we're not willing to do. Totally unreasonable to ask people to do something you're not willing to do. I mean, you have to see the validity of this logic. You can't ask people to do something you're not doing. If you're not making Success Club, you can't lead people to be making Success Club. You've got to make Success Club first. Then you say, hey, I had a mess, which was I didn't know how to make Success Club, and I was confused and overwhelmed, and I had this business all wrong, and I was blaming everybody, and I wasn't taking responsibility. I figured all that out, and I just got busy. Instead of getting ready to get ready, I got busy getting busy. And when I did that, I made Success Club. And here's what I did. Then you lead those people. That's how it works, though. It's these little jumps. It's not that you rev up your motorcycle and try to jump over the Snake River on day 1. That's way too daunting. You know what you'll do? You might just walk up to the edge and go, nope, not doing that. But when you've made a bunch of other little jumps first, and then you made some bigger jumps, and then you made some bigger jumps, you might think, you know what, that Snake River isn't so scary anymore. That's how leadership works. Find needs and fill them. That's why I'm here today filming this video. Okay? Because I had some time, and I asked the question, what do you need to know? The big answer I got was leadership. There's some other questions too I'm probably not going to have time to get into. I'll see once I finish this thing. Here's the other thing, okay, about leadership in our business. So I think the first 2 rules really apply no matter where you're trying to lead. You know, if you're trying to lead the PTA or PTO, I guess they call it now, or you're trying to lead in your church organization, or you're trying to lead your cycling club or whatever. Those 2 rules are just universal. Number 1, leader of self. Number 2, find needs and fill them. You cannot do that. You can't do the second one without doing the first one. Okay? And no one's going to follow you unless you do the first one either. Okay? So don't get too far ahead of yourself. Start small. All right? Shakeology, fitness programs, help people solve those problems first. Get good at that. When you get good at that, more people will want to learn how to do that. And you'll be in a position to teach them because now you know. Okay, if you look at like our website and the FCN Coach training site and everything, the motto is the same. Learn, practice, succeed, teach. Learn is about being a leader of self. So is practice. Succeed is also about being a leader of self. Teach is about filling needs. That's what that's designed to sort of communicate to you. That's the process. Learn, practice, succeed, teach. Learn how to make Success Club. Practice making Success Club. You'll have success if you make Success Club, then you can teach people how to do it. You can't teach people how to do something you don't know how to do. I can't teach you Japanese. I don't know Japanese. I would have to go and have to learn Japanese, and have to practice Japanese for a while. Then I'd have to have some successful interactions with people speaking Japanese. Then maybe I could teach you Japanese. Good news, this is nowhere near as complicated as Japanese. Okay, what we do is really pretty simple. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it's really pretty simple. Okay, those are the first two. Leader of self, find needs and fill them. The third one is this, and I think this applies in our business and some other businesses as well, but I think it applies in our business more than it does in others. And that is leaders contribute beyond themselves. Okay, contribute beyond themselves. The way being a leader looks, people have this all mixed up. They just have it all mixed up. And I don't know why how this got so mixed up. I think there were some successful people who paraded around with their Lamborghinis and their big friggin' yachts. And that gave people the impression that what leaders do is go, yeah, all right, good luck, bye. That's not what leadership is. If you want to make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a week, you have to give more than you take. You have to give more than you take. You have to give 100% of yourself with zero expectation of getting anything back. Zero. I don't know how many people are in this group. 500, 600, I don't know, there's 1,000 people in this group. There are 5 that are on this call. Do you think I go, oh, it's not worth doing? Later. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. The way it works is I give 100% of me without any expectation of what you're going to do. Just giving 100% of me. Everything that I have right now poured into this moment. It's up to you to take it and run with it. It's your mess. You fix it. I can help you understand I can help you understand that. I can help you understand the realities of it. I can help you understand you're not going to get anywhere until you take responsibility for it. But I can't do it for you. I can just give 100% of myself. I'll give you an example of this. Great analogy. When I started this business, okay, I had, again, just a really flawed vision of what it was to be in network marketing, or a coach, however you want to put that. And I remember I was working with a mentor, a guy named Craig Holliday. And I remember talking to Craig, and I was asking him the same questions you guys keep asking me. How do I get people to do more? How do I get people to stay active? How do I get people to do a bunch of shit that they don't want to do? You don't. You keep finding new people, okay? And then you treat them with respect, and you give to them. And then they'll follow you. Then they'll do the things that you ask them to do. Not for you, for themselves. Because you teach them how to lead themselves. You teach them the rules I just taught you. You see, when I started this business, I thought it was a winemaker. That's what I thought this business was. So in my winemaker analogy, I'm the winemaker and people are grapes. And what do winemakers do? They squish the shit out of grapes until they get the juice that they want, and then they throw the rest away. And that's what I thought this business was. And I remember talking to Craig about this and him telling me, "Oh, you think you're a winemaker?" I was like, "Isn't that not what we do?" I said, "No, that's not how this works. That's just not how this works. If you want to make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a week, which is what I wanted to make, that's not how it works. You can make some money making wine. That works for a little while. But you're going to have to always finding new people. Because when you start discarding people, they start to think, you're full of shit. and I'm not going to follow you anymore. And they start to disappear. And I hear a lot of people that's happening for right now. And the reason? They're making wine. He said, here's a better analogy of what it is to be successful in this business. You're a power generator. You're a power generator. It's like you've got this big outlet on your chest. And what you do is you allow people to come up to you and plug in and suck energy out of you. And the more energy you have to give, the more your team will grow. And you have to give 100% of yourself with zero expectation of anything back. And if you can do that, people will follow you. Think about great leaders, and I'm not talking about these shitty politicians that we see on TV every day who really are making wine. I mean, think about really, really great leaders. That's what they did. Some of them gave their lives. I'm not even asking you to do that. That's what leadership is. You have to be a leader of self first. You got to take responsibility for your mess, and then you got to do whatever you need to do to get yourself out of the mess. And as you do that, you make a story. Sometimes that story is irresistible. You know, my story is not irresistible. I will tell you that. Because when I start with, I was a lawyer, a lot of people go, that doesn't apply to me. If you're a mom, if you're like my buddy Mike Ryan, who was in bankruptcy court, who was in bankruptcy, we went through the same economic meltdown, except he was way over leveraged and he lost all of his shit. I saw it coming and was able to save things. Mike lost all his shit. Now that's a story people go, what? You lost all your shit? Wait, tell me more about that. What? You were, what? Bankrupt? You lost everything? Your house, car, everything? Lost it all? And you fixed it? How the hell did you do that? Because you're creating this story that just sucks people in. But if you don't ever create the story, why would I follow you? You're still in the mess. You're still in the mess. And you haven't fixed your mess. You're stuck there. You're stuck in the mess. So what do you want me to do? You want me to come to your mess and like hang out with you in the mess? Why would people do that? That's not going to happen. What will happen is if you fix your mess, it'll pull people in. And they'll follow you. Okay? This is why the greatest story, sorry dudes, the greatest story in Team Beachbody is a pregnancy story. It's the greatest story. Because it's totally relatable. And people have incredible transformations if they fix the mess. And what's happening? Well, you got a baby, so you're busy. This is not just a baby. It's not like you just got like, a cat, or a puppy. Like this is a baby. You have to take care of it constantly. It dominates your life. And yet you found a way to lose all that baby weight, working out 22 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever it was you did to fix your mess. What happens? The mom who's pregnant is going, I don't like the way I look right now. Gets sucked into that story. And says, okay, if you fix your mess, maybe you can help me fix my mess. If you're broke, you have a great story. If you'll fix it. If you'll fix it. If you refuse to fix it and you decide to just stay broke because it's everybody else's fault and it's 90% of what happens to me and only 10% of how I respond, no one's going to follow you. And the people who do follow you are going to have that same mindset. And they're going to go, yeah, we're just going to stay here in the mess and complain. That's not how you lead a successful team. Because you need successful people. And in order to find successful people, you have to be a leader of self. I just cannot emphasize that. That's why it's the number one rule. You must lead yourself first. When you can do that, then you can lead other people. How do you lead other people? Number 2, find needs and fill them. It starts small. Shakeology, a challenge pack. Gets bigger. People get involved in business, helping them grow. Helping people, making Success Club yourself and then teaching people how to do that. Advancing to Emerald yourself and teaching other people how to do that. Moving to Diamond yourself, teaching other people how to do that. And more importantly, why they would do that. I can sit here and tell you, oh, well, you want to make, you need to make a big Success Club. Why? Why would I do that? Oh, well, when I tell you, well, people who make Success Club make more money, then you might wake up and go, And people who make Success Club can teach people how to make Success Club. And when you have people in your downline who make Success Club, you make more money. Oh, isn't that interesting? People who advance to Diamond make more money. People who advance to Star Diamond and get to 2-star and open a second business center make more money. That's why you should do these things. Why is important here, okay? That's number 2. Find needs and fill them. Third, contribute beyond yourself. Give 100% of you and expect nothing in return and see what happens. Just see what happens. Give it a try. Try these pants on for 21 days, okay? For 21 days, just give 100% of yourself with zero expectation of anything in return. Start letting people cut in front of you in traffic. When you're at the grocery store and you see somebody's only got 2 items and you've got 50, let them go ahead of you. And when you have an opportunity to give to somebody without any expectation of anything in return, just try it on. See what happens. It's going to be really hard for you if you can't get past number 1. If you're stuck in your mess and you refuse to accept responsibility, this is going to be really difficult for you. But if you can accept responsibility, you can be a true entrepreneur, somebody who accepts all the risks of the success or failure of a business endeavor, and you can move to number 2, you can start finding needs and filling them, then you can do number 3. And number 3 is what takes you to the next level. These are the people who get away from being winemakers and they start becoming a power generator. When you become a power generator, that is contagious shit. People cannot help but follow you. But if you can't do number 1, number 2 is going to be really hard because you're probably not going to find anybody to follow you. Number 3 will likely be impossible because people who can't take care of themselves are always looking for somebody else to fix their problems. It's impossible for them to give 100% of themselves with zero expectation of anything in return. Because they sit there and they go, this is everybody else's fault. This is Beachbody's fault. This is Hillary's fault. It's Trump's fault. It's Obama's fault. Everybody loves to blame Obama. It's Obama's fault. You want to ask me if I'm better than I was 4 years ago, 8 years ago? Yeah. I don't believe it. It doesn't have shit to do with Obama. Because I don't rely on Obama to take care of me. I rely on me to take care of me. And it's a very liberating place to be. Okay, so that is my big leadership rant for today. I hope you guys hear what I am saying and the way that I am saying it and understand that this is what will allow you to move to the next level. If you can't do these things, you're really going to struggle to be a big leader here. Does that mean you should not be a coach? I don't know. There's 4 reasons people become a coach, in my opinion. Number 1, discount. Number 2, get their supplements paid for. Make enough money to get their supplements paid for. Number 3, make $1,000 a month or so, extra income. Number 4, become a full-time person like me. I don't know if I covered number 4, but that's the 4th one. People want to do this full-time. They want to quit whatever shitty job they're at. They want to just be 100% leader of self. I rely on me to make sure that I am taken care of. Now, let me tell you why it's liberating. I'll say one more thing here. If you can accomplish number 1, you're free. You're free. A lot of people ask me, not as many as they used to, but I think when Beachbody was young, or not even young, but like maybe this is like kind of stopped about 2 years ago. People would ask me, well, okay, so you've done really well with Beachbody, but what if Beachbody gives way? And my first answer was always, well, I don't see that is happening because we just keep getting stronger and stronger and, getting better and better and better. So don't really see that happening, but good question. I'm not scared. Because if Beachbody went away, I would have a mess on my hands. I'd have a little mess, a beautiful little mess to fix. To take responsibility, to fix it. And as I fixed it, I'll pull you all along with me. And a bunch of other people too. Here's my mess. I fixed it. Don't you want me to fix yours? Because that's how this works. So no, it doesn't scare me at all. At all. I'd have to work a lot harder. Hey, I've done it before. Do it again. Because I know the rules. Leader of self, first and foremost. Until you do that, reconnecting. Until you can do number 1, don't ask about leading other people. Don't even think about it. If you've been in the business for a couple of years, I don't care. Fix your mess. Build a story. Then you can get to number 2, number 3. All right, that's it for today. I will take a look at these other questions. I don't know how much time I've got here. I got to meet Ryan, I think, pretty soon. If I have some time, I'll film another one of these and address some of the other questions that were asked. I appreciate the questions. Please keep them coming. I know today was a little bit of a rant, but I think that's important for you to hear that from me on a topic like this, one that is so important. Leadership really is the foundation of every successful Team Beachbody business, and maybe every business, period. But that's my message for you. Please keep the questions coming when I ask. I really do appreciate you guys giving me topics to talk about. That helps me help you, and that's what I'm all about. So that's it for right now. Maybe I'll see you in a little bit. I don't know how long this took and how much time I got.